Hi guys, we've got something a little bit different on the channel this time. I'm going to try and up my content a little bit. Most of you probably know I do sort of beard balm reviews, but now I'm going to try and branch out into my little bit of my workshop stuff. That'll range from my 3D printed Iron Man helmet, fully functional, my laser engravers, my 3D printer, all the different the enclosures I made for my 3D printers, and all different bits and bobs and projects and stuff that I've got going on. Also, today's little insight will be on heating my workshop. Without a doubt was the best investment I made, and it helps heat my workshop out wonders. And believe it or not, comes out of a lorry. So this is my video on my take on diesel heaters to heat your garage. I saw quite a few videos out and about of people using these to heat different parts, and I thought that'd be a perfect way to heat the garage. So I've done your usual. I looked at all the Webasto ones, and they're ridiculously expensive, between sort of £700 to about £2,000, and I didn't really want to pay that just to heat my garage for 6 months of the year. So I went for the good old eBay cheap special. I'll put a link in the description of the one I got. I think it cost me about £92, which wasn't that bad personally. I think that's not too bad for a heater that's going to heat the garage when I'm in here for a lot of the time. It came pretty quick. I think it came delivery in about 3 days. Obviously it didn't come from China, it's a Chinese company, but they must stock them over here. And then it got delivered. I'm not going to bother doing an unboxing video and everything, one because it's already up and I didn't film it, and you don't want to see me taking shit out of a box. But I will go through now with you what came with it and how I've set it up to heat my garage. Right, so this is the main unit. You get what you get for the 90 quid you spend. It's basically just your standard sort of diesel heater, Chinese sort of knockoff one. But I haven't faulted it since. It all came nicely boxed, nicely packaged. Didn't have no issues with it. The seller was really quick and really helpful, which is always helpful for me. And I've had no problems with it whatsoever. Basically, the standard sort of functionality of these is it sucks in fuel from here, and it goes inside the combustion chamber, which then heats the hot air up coming in from this side, and the hot air gets pushed in, and then it comes down and gets heated up inside the combustion chamber, and then comes out of this hose and then is split around the workshop. It only came with that one black piece of pipe, which is fine, but I wanted to try and spread the heat around the garage because I've got quite a long garage. So I purchased these sort of aluminium pipes, extension pipes. I think I got them off eBay, which were about 18 quid I think. And basically they came, I think it came as one length, which I just cut and then put the T in, and the T there, which you can see. And then they actually came with these little heater things, obviously because they're designed for lorries, which are quite handy because then you can actually directionally point the heat to where you want it. Right, so what you actually need to power this bad boy is a 12-volt power source. You can buy converters and stuff, but I bought one of the old box standard ones off eBay. Yes, I know the wiring is dodgy at the minute. It's just a temporary fix until I can make a box for it. But I've just put it up there just for testing and to keep it out of the way of the kids. But it's just your standard one. I think it was about 20 quid off eBay. 240 in, 12 volts out, and it will have a little regulator in there so you can regulate the exact voltage. These run obviously the same as lorries, so it will just run off your basic 12 volt power supply. It's got your usual standards, so sort of standard fuse in there, and the main power just runs all the way down, and you get a really long cable with it, which is quite impressive. So that cable leads to this bad boy. So this basically is your controller unit. So this is the thermostat, the off and on button, the speeds, the heat and everything, and this is basically what controls the whole heater. Normally when you have it in a lorry, this is what is in the dash, or you stick it somewhere on the dash so you can control it. As for fuel, it comes directly out the bottom. All these plates and everything are all included, which is easy for bolting, and then it's running across the top of the rafters, and it goes to a little pump. Everything that came with this kit had all the wire and looms and everything. There was no wiring, it was literally plug and play. So that made it really easy to fit, and I really enjoyed fitting it. and then basically that's what goes back to the power source. And the fuel pipe carries on going back down, and it goes to a tank. You get a 10-litre tank with it, which you can stick anywhere you want, and I just chucked it up on the wall and screwed it in next to the freezer. Right, so this is the bottom, and then you've got exhaust, cold air in, and fuel. This cold air pipe's literally just a standard little flexi hose, and that's going up here and that's going out to a window. It did come with a little filter, but I found the unit got warmer and the air got warmer without the filter on. I find it restricted it a little bit. I wrapped the exhaust in a exhaust wrap just to keep it radiating too much heat to anything, and it just looked a lot nicer. I just drilled, I think it was a 25mm hole in the wall, and that goes straight outside, and you get like a little back box thing with it, and that's just screwed to the wall, so it's like a little mini exhaust system for it. Right, we won't mess about then, we'll get it fired up. It's the little unit system is really simple. It's got, if you press that one, you get the current degrees of what it is in the garage at the minute, and then you can go through timers, as in when you want it to go on and off, but I don't use the timers, I just use it when and as needed. You can check the temperature. Some of these they work, and I think it's hertz or something, but you hold a couple of buttons in and then it goes to degrees. I always basically just keep it on full whack. So you press the on button and that'll fire up, and you can see on the screen that the fan's kicking in, the glow plug is heating up. I don't know if you can see it. Alright, so the fan's kicking in, the glow plug's heating up while it's red, and then you can see cold air is going in and hot air is going out. That, I think that little bit there that bit up here shows that you have got the right voltage going in and the right amps going in, because these do draw a lot of amps, hence why it hasn't just got your standard 12-volt power adapter on, it has to have a power supply to handle the high amps. Right, so at the minute it's pretty quiet, you can't really hear it running while it's heating up. You can sort of slide this bit off the end here, and then you can see the impeller in there spinning away, and that'll get faster and faster the more heat that goes in there. So obviously it does take a little time for it to heat up. There you go, right, see that clicking? That basically now is this little pump up here in the little rubber bracket they give to reduce noise and vibration. That's now kicking in, which is now pumping the diesel from the tank I got stuck to the wall, and that's going to go all the way up there. And there's a lot of ifs about having pipes and stuff at different levels. Just ignore it, put it wherever you want. Those pumps are powerful enough to suck it from anywhere, to be honest. And then that's now pumping diesel from all the way down there, across the beams, and then into the bottom. And if you can hear, the burn is now starting to kick in. So what I'll do is I'll leave it for a bit, and I'll let you know. I'll come back in a minute when it's heating up a bit more. Alright, so it's been about probably 30-40 seconds. The little pump, as you can hear, is clicking away a little bit faster, which is then chucking more fuel into this. So as you can hear, this is now starting to kick some beans out. So it's been about 2 minutes and it's now running sort of full beans. It's not the quietest heater in the world, I admit, but I'm not in here doing anything sensitive or anything I need to be quiet for. I am in here working, so heat, noise I'm not really overly too fussed about. As you can see by the panel, it's now saying it's giving out full beans on the reds. The pump's working efficiently because it's green, the voltage is efficient, there's no drop in the amps, but once you run and it drops amps anyway once it's got up to temperature. So fan's running at full, heat's running at full, and they're all running fine. And then the glow plug's gone out now because it's got up to temperature. The tank, since I've bought it, it's probably about 6 months, I think I've filled that up twice. And I haven't filled it with 10 litres, I've put 5 litres in it. So in 6 months I've used 10 litres of diesel, and I'm in here a lot. So I think that's pretty good, to be honest. But as you can hear, air's getting sucked in through this part, cold air's getting sucked in through here, exhaust is going out outside, so I'm not getting any fumes. I've always put a CO2 sensor here just in case. It's never gone off, never had a bleep or a blip or anything from it. So now from here we're getting really quite very hot air coming out of here, which isn't bad. If you've just got a single pipe running off it, it gets bloody hot. But because it's getting split across two of the pipes, yeah, this is really hot as well. The direction is that one points to this side of the garage, and then this one points to there, normally where I'm standing doing my project. Right, so I switched it off now. That's all. When you switch it off, everything sort of slows down. It won't cut off completely. The pump will slow down and that'll stop pushing fuel in. The fan will go higher to try and cool everything down so it doesn't stop and get overheated. And then after about 3-4 minutes, it will turn itself off. It took about 7 minutes to get up to heat, and then after then, the heat that's billing out of this is immense. It gets bloody hot in here. You can control the temperature, which will then control the amount of fuel that goes in and how hot it will get. But I find, me personally, I just whack it on, let it run for half an hour to an hour. This place in here gets toasty as hell, and then I'll either switch it off, or if it's that cold, I'll just leave it on, because it's not an uncomfortable temperature. It gets really nice and warm. I do lose heat from crevices and cracks, so I can leave it on and it won't get too uncomfortable. So my final thought on these Chinese heaters, if you do spend a lot of time in your garage and you do a lot of products, I think in total I spent 100 quid, I spent about 90 quid on that, and then about 110 quid, like sort of 10-15 quid on that, and maybe 10 or 20 quid on that. So you can sort of get them for different prices, but it's going to range from about 115 to 130 quid. And that, for heating this garage, to me, is priceless, because I'm in here a lot and it gets bloody cold. So for that price, I used to have electric heaters running, and that would rinse the electricity. I've had like 4 kilowatt heaters running, and I've had propane blast heaters running, and they're so bloody noisy, and that gets condensation and everything in here. With this, it's nice, clean, dry heat. Your fumes are going outside, you get a nice hot air. It might be a little bit loud for some people's taste, but for me, it's perfect. Don't forget to hit a like and subscribe. You'll see on my future videos and videos of stuff and projects I have been doing. I'll keep you updated on bits and bobs that I am, stuff I'm printing and whatnot, and stuff that I've made in my garage that I think be useful for other people to see. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.